Hold up, Browns Nation. Before you even think about clicking away, I need you to understand something. What happened in Week 1 wasn't just a football game that slipped through our fingers. It was a wake-up call that's echoing through the entire AFC North, and if we don't address it fast, we're looking at a season-defining disaster that starts and ends with one position that nobody wants to talk about until it's too late. 17-16. Those three numbers should be burned into every Browns fan's memory, not because of what they represent, but because of how easily they could have been different. We're not talking about a blowout where our guys got outplayed. We're not talking about a game where Deshaun Watson threw 3 interceptions or our defense gave up 40 points. No, we're talking about a game we handed to Cincinnati on a silver platter because our kicker, Andre Smick, had what might go down as one of the most costly debuts in recent Browns history. But here's where it gets interesting, and why you need to stick with me for the next few minutes, because this isn't just about one bad game. The ripple effects of what happened in Week 1 are about to reshape our entire approach to special teams, and the names being thrown around as potential solutions might surprise you. We're talking about bringing back ghosts from our past, scouting proven veterans who could walk in tomorrow and change everything, and making decisions that could literally be the difference between another disappointing season and a legitimate Super Bowl run. Let me paint you the picture of what actually went down. Smick walks onto the field at Cleveland Browns Stadium, crowd behind him, everything set up perfectly for what should have been routine kicks. Extra point attempt, miss. Field goal that would have sealed the deal, miss. Just like that, 2 missed opportunities that turned a potential Browns victory into another heartbreaking loss that we'll be talking about for months. Now, before you start flooding the comments about how I'm being too harsh on a rookie, hear me out. This isn't about crushing the kid's confidence. This is about facing reality in a league where margins are razor thin and special teams can make or break championship dreams. Smick beat out Dustin Hopkins in training camp, which means the coaching staff saw something in him. Kevin Stefanski publicly backed him after the game, emphasizing his solid camp performance. But backing him and ignoring the problem are 2 completely different things. The really fascinating part is what's happening behind the scenes right now. Sources around the league are buzzing about Cleveland's suddenly active interest in available kickers, and names being mentioned are absolutely wild. First up, and this one's going to blow your mind, Zane Gonzalez. Yeah, that's Zane Gonzalez. The same guy we drafted back in 2017, who had his own struggles in Cleveland before moving on. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Gonzalez has completely turned his career around. Last season with Washington, he went 5 for 7 on field goals and hit every single extra point attempt. 19 for 19. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of reliability we're desperately missing right now. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride and admit that a guy you let go might be exactly what you need to bring back. Then there's Eddie Piñeiro, and this guy's resume is absolutely ridiculous. We're talking about someone who hit 22 of 26 field goals last season and achieved something that made NFL history. Piñeiro became the league's all-time field goal percentage leader during his time with Carolina. Think about that for a second. In a league where kickers are constantly under pressure and one bad streak can end careers, this guy has been the most consistent in NFL history. But wait, it gets better. Piñeiro has a career long of 56 yards, which means he's not just accurate, he's got the leg strength to hit from distances that can change game strategy. Imagine having a kicker you trust from 50 yards out instead of constantly worrying about whether routine extra points are going to sail wide. The third name floating around is Michael Badgley, and while he might not have the flashy stats of the other 2, his track record tells a different story. 98 for 119 on field goals over his career, with a long of 59 yards. That's solid, dependable production from a guy who's bounced around the league, but consistently delivered when given opportunities. Now here's where this gets really interesting from a strategic standpoint. The Browns aren't just looking at this as a simple replacement situation. They're weighing whether to bring someone in to compete with Smick, sign someone to the practice squad as insurance, or make a bold move and completely overhaul the position before things get worse. Think about our upcoming schedule. Week 2, we're on the road against Baltimore, and if you know anything about Ravens games, you know they're going to be physical, close, and decided by small margins. That's exactly the kind of game where having a reliable kicker becomes the difference between walking out with a division win or falling to 0-2 with questions swirling around the entire season. The offense is starting to click. Deshaun is showing flashes of the elite quarterback we traded for. Our defense is still capable of shutting down opposing offenses. But none of that matters if we can't count on our special teams when games are on the line. Ask any championship team, and they'll tell you that October and November wins often come down to field position and clutch kicks. What makes this situation even more critical is the broader context of where this team is trying to go. We're not rebuilding. We're not in development mode. This roster is constructed to win now, which means every position needs to contribute at a championship level. Having a question mark at kicker isn't just inconvenient, it's potentially catastrophic for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. The psychological aspect can't be ignored either. When players start doubting whether routine kicks are going to go through the uprights, it changes everything. Fourth down decisions become more conservative. Red zone strategies shift toward always going for touchdowns instead of settling for field goals. The entire game plan gets altered because you can't trust one position. But here's what separates good organizations from great ones: recognizing problems early and having the courage to make tough decisions. Cleveland's front office isn't panicking, but they're not ignoring reality either. They're doing what championship contenders do, exploring every option to put the best possible team on the field. The beauty of potentially bringing back someone like Gonzalez is that he knows the organization understands the pressure of playing in Cleveland and has already proven he can handle adversity and come back stronger. Sometimes the best solutions involve admitting that letting someone go was premature and being willing to give second chances when the circumstances make sense. If you're a true Browns fan who wants to see this team reach its potential, smash that like button and subscribe to Browns Breakout, because we're going to be tracking every move this organization makes to fix what could be a season-defining problem. The next few weeks are going to tell us everything we need to know about whether Cleveland is serious about competing at the highest level. The clock is ticking. Baltimore is waiting. And somewhere out there, the kicker who could save our season is probably working out, staying ready for the phone call that could change everything. The question isn't whether Cleveland will make a move, it's whether they'll make the right move before it's too late. This is exactly the kind of decision that separates contenders from pretenders, and Browns fans deserve to know their team isn't going to let championship dreams slip away because of missed kicks. The story is just beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.